For decades, the United States government told the public that UFO stories belonged to the world of conspiracy theories. Then, something changed. The word UFO slowly disappeared from official language, and a new term took its place: UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomena. And in 2026, something even stranger happened. The Pentagon began releasing thousands of pages of records, videos, images, and reports connected to mysterious objects observed by military personnel. Not anonymous internet users, military pilots, intelligence personnel, government agencies, people operating some of the most sophisticated surveillance systems on Earth. And now, we finally have a chance to look inside those files. On August 7th, 2026, the Pentagon released another collection of UAP-related records, 41 new files, videos, documents, images, military reports, and witness accounts. The files are part of a much larger government effort to make previously restricted UAP material available to the public. But there's something important you need to understand. The government isn't saying these are alien spacecraft. It's saying something much more uncomfortable. We don't know what some of them are. And that distinction matters because an unidentified object is not automatically an extraterrestrial object. But when something is detected by military sensors, observed by trained personnel, and still cannot be confidently identified, the mystery becomes much harder to dismiss. Our story takes us back to Afghanistan. The year was 2002. A former pilot later described seeing something enormous in the sky near Bagram. Not a tiny light, not a distant aircraft, a massive triangular shape, a dark object, so large in that it appeared to block out the stars behind it. Imagine that. You're flying over a war zone. You're trained to identify aircraft. You know what helicopters look like. You know what fighter jets look like. You know what missiles and flares look like. And then you look up and see a gigantic triangle hanging silently in the darkness. No obvious engine, no obvious wings, no conventional explanation. But here's where the story gets complicated. A witness report is evidence of an observation. It is not proof of what caused that observation. And that's an important distinction, because the next case is even stranger. Now we move from Afghanistan to the Gulf of Oman. In 2021, military personnel encountered unusual spherical objects during an exercise. Orbs, small, apparently distant, and difficult to identify. But then something happened. The objects were reportedly observed in an environment where live cannon fire was taking place. And suddenly, the question wasn't simply, what is that? It became, did it react? If an unidentified object can detect and respond to military activity, that raises a very different set of questions. Could it be a drone, a classified aircraft, a sensor artifact, something created by atmospheric conditions? Or something we simply don't understand yet? We don't know, and that's exactly what makes the footage so fascinating. But before we call anything extraordinary, there's a problem we have to confront: the camera. Infrared cameras don't show the world exactly as our eyes see it. They detect heat. Distance can be difficult to judge. Perspective can be misleading. Atmospheric conditions can distort an image. And camera movement can make ordinary objects appear to move in extraordinary ways. That's why a strange video is not automatically proof of a strange object. A tiny object far away can appear enormous. A bird can look like something impossible. A balloon can appear to move at incredible speed when the camera itself is moving. And sometimes, the mystery disappears as soon as better data becomes available. But not every case gets that explanation. And that's where things become interesting. In one reported 2025 incident in the western United States, a government agent recorded two unusual objects using thermal imagery. On the screen, they appeared as what investigators described as black hot signatures. Two objects, moving slowly, apparently maintaining a relationship with one another. The footage doesn't immediately tell us what they were, and that's the problem. Were they aircraft, drones, something atmospheric, a sensor artifact, or something else? Thermal imagery can be deceptive, but the image still leaves us with one uncomfortable fact. Something was detected. Something appeared on the sensor, and investigators couldn't immediately give it a definitive identity. The question remains, what exactly was moving through the sky? Here's the part of the story that conspiracy videos often leave out. Not every UFO is actually mysterious. Some UAP cases eventually receive ordinary explanations. Birds, balloons, aircraft, satellites, sensor artifacts, atmospheric effects. And when investigators identify the object, the mystery disappears. That's important, because the word unidentified doesn't mean alien. It simply means not identified yet. But then, there are cases that remain unresolved. And that's where the debate becomes much more complicated. Because if you've eliminated the obvious explanations and the evidence still doesn't tell you what you're looking at, what exactly are you supposed to call it? Unknown. If you want to explore more stories hidden inside government files and uncover the mysteries that still have no clear answer, make sure you like this video, leave your theory in the comments, and subscribe, because there are still many files left to open. Until next time, keep questioning and keep looking up. The search continues.